I know I mentioned earlier that Abby Shock will be coming on. I don't think so, actually. Uh, maybe. But I have one more thing to share. This is a video that's getting a lot of attention that I post on my YouTube. And the comment section is going crazy. So I'm going to respond to a few of these comments because this issue is important. Here we have a situation where last week the UN decided to uh, will bring the vote the resolution that slavery is the most inhumane thing that ever happened in mankind, basically. And it passed, plus the commitment to reparations. But European states disdained, upstayed, excuse me, and Israel, the U.S., and random Argentina voted no. Not surprised about America, not surprised about Israel. Argentina, knowing their history, still surprised. But whatever. Let's talk about this. Then we look at the conversation. We'll respond.
That voted against the resolution was the United States. Were you disappointed by that vote?
So I would like to comment on the reasons they gave. They sought to create the impression that the time for negotiations have been short. The president of Ghana served notice last year in September. Immediately thereafter, we put together a broad-based coalition, including experts, academics, researchers, historians from all regions of the world. And we commenced negotiations. We allocated 3 hours, twice the time, and had multiple rounds of negotiations. So there are some that to us, it is clear that even if we gave them 50 years, they would say that the time is not enough. Secondly, the claim they have made that we are seeking to create a hierarchy of crimes. We have stated clearly that it is not about hierarchy. We are only speaking to a historical fact. Never in the history of mankind have we had such a systemic crime. We took over 3 centuries, more than 300 years, with its consequences still lingering unto this day, manifesting in racism, in structural inequality. What is fundamental, which nobody can deny, is that more than 12.5 million people were forcibly removed from the continent. More than 3 million people died, were tossed into the transatlantic ocean, which is a mass grave site. And in our country, Ghana, the country with the highest number of slave forts and castles, we are living witnesses on a daily basis when we go into those castles and forts, and we see that.
I just want y'all to understand slave castles, forts, highest rate in Ghana. That's where they literally was one of the main ports of where they shipped us off. I just want to repeat what he just said.
Door of no return. We break down.
One of the key reasons raised by the United States for which reason they are abstaining is the lack of clarity on who is the recipient of the reparatory justice. What is your response to that?
It's surprising. In this resolution, talked about frameworks which you put in place that will take care of the consequences, the lack of opportunity, discrimination, the degradation of people of color. And we have made clear that African leaders or Caribbean leaders are not looking for money. It goes against our conscience to seek to profit from this. We are talking about causes to deal with the structural inequalities. And we are also talking about the return of artifacts. There are thousands of artifacts from Egypt all the way to the Ashanti Kingdom in Ghana. Again, it is totally wrong for a claim to be made that there is no clarity about.
Why there's artifacts? Because not only did they steal black people, but they raped the land of resources. Still to this day, they drew up fake ass borders, the Europeans did, which created border disputes between warring tribes. they sold countries off like they were companies, sold them off. Nigeria was purchased by the UK. You know, like the history on how Africa has become destabilized after chattel slavery hasn't fully been told in Europe and hasn't fully been told in the United States like it should be. They took advantage. They colonized. They killed millions of people, forced them to speak French, English, German, Italian, Spanish, similar to what they did to Latin America. Very similar. And just now, Africa is gaining their voice and building their freedom. Finally, becoming sovereign. We talk about this all the time in the show. You know what I mean? The time of colonialism is dying. And this is one of the signs. Finish the video off. Then we continue.
Who benefits from reparatory justice?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's the video. Now let me back up here. No, we do not want to go to Afro Man. Shouts out to Afro Man. I love Afro Man, by the way. I feel like he's doing the Lord's work with the whole cop shit. That was so funny. All right. Sorry, computer's being a little slow. Oh my god, it's trying to go to everything but the vid. This is what I go through. I'm glad that y'all are witnessing this. Anyway, let's get to the comment section. I'm gonna put the comment section up and I'm gonna read the comments that pissed me off. And like I respect people's opinion. I'm not gonna read the comments that white people gave because they have no opinion in this matter. And y'all can get mad at me if you want to, if you disagree that they should be part of dialogue. No, they should not. I don't care. They should not. I don't care. But I'm going to get into the comment section part that intrigued me. And I was very, very shocked a little bit from black folks. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what I was shocked about with black folks. Okay, my fellow black people. All right, let me see. This one right here is the top of the cream right here, man. All right, let me get it out. I'm using my phone, like I said, because I do not want to read off this bright ass screen. I'm gonna use my phone. Okay, here we go. So this guy, as you can see, his name, no face. Only reason why I'm assuming he's black because he said he's black. All right, so his name is Ralik. I believe it's Ralik. It's not Ralik. If you see this video, I apologize for saying your name incorrectly because I hate saying black people's name incorrectly. I really do. They taught me to read and pronounce European names so much more effectively than our own people. So I apologize. All right. Everyone is up in arms about the U.S. and Israel voting no. Wow, not telling the whole story, leaving out the fact that dozens of countries decided to stay neutral. I brought that up in the video. And in the description as well, too. But, you know, people like to generalize a lot instead of just, you know, looking at who is reporting this, who is putting this video together, what kind of channel they are, and how and what kind of message they are bringing. If he knew exactly what's going on, he'll do two things. He'll give me some respect and understand where I'm coming from, or he'll just clown me like other upper towns do. And all right, so here we go. Where I left off at. Okay, leaving that out for the purpose of agenda. What agenda? I love how people use the term agenda a lot, but when you ask them what is the agenda, they don't articulate it properly. But whatever. As a foundational black man. I don't know why you got to put foundational, my brother. Veteran and conservative Republican. I don't accept this farce that is being used to capture the minds of people who don't know any better. We will fight our own fight here that has failed. None of you wanted to fight for us before, so don't try to act like you're doing it for us now. It is self-serving. All right, so as you can tell, that was a very vexful comment that I did not appreciate. I had no response for him. I was just like, yo, you feel that way? Cool. So let me see. I put the in reply. Let me see if I get it up. I don't want to spend too much time on this segment, but I think this is important to get across because it's important. This thread pissed me off, but whatever. So okay, I put the board. Why? Because I hear the same old shit from these Uncle Tom motherfuckers all the time. And then I put the okay laughing emoji. I had this conversation a lot. And I'm at the point where it goes to like, okay, you are either for it or you're going to start saying some wild shit that you don't fully understand or read about. And you're going in your ignorance because people told you that reparations isn't a problem. We shouldn't have it. Well, Japan and the Jewish people were actually giving reparations. So I don't understand, why people just can't read and learn that reparations has happened before. So it can happen again. And not even just reparations of giving money, because we all know that money will go back into the economy. You know what I mean? Because we're going to be buying property, houses. We're going to be establishing generational wealth, life. You know what I mean? We're going to try. Like how the Jewish community is doing. You know what I mean? How the Japanese community is doing. You know what I mean? So like here we are. Punching ourselves down, and I gave a response. That clearly wasn't liked because somebody else responded and they said, your response to this comment makes you look childish. Okay, I guess, but you don't know me like that. If you choose to respond, then respond with some intelligence and articulate blah, 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 blah. Shut up, bro. I hate when people, they look for a response, and when you don't give them what they want, they got the nerve to say something. I said what I said, bro. It's that simple. I'm not gonna be sitting here. Here's my thing. I don't like arguing with people online. You know what I mean? My information, if this brother really, really want to have a dialogue instead of going on this self-serving nonsense, I guess he's accusing Ghana of being self-serving, but I just explained how African countries suffered tremendously since chattel slavery started. You know what I mean? They got fucked over, the ones that stayed, very harsh. To this day, bro, it's bad how colonialism has destroyed that continent. All right. So it's not self-serving. All right. It's about seeking retribution. You know what I mean? While Europe is declining and America is declining in their power influence, we have voices that have not been heard for centuries, my brother. And you got the goddamn nerve to tell me that this African nation is self-serving because they are looking for acknowledgement of the pain that the black diaspora has went through, the freemen, the ancestors that were sent on those boats for slavery. My name is I changed my name to Jamar Jabari because Farmer is my slave name, my nigga. Farmer is my slave name. But you want to sit here, oh, I am a foundational black American veteran conservative. Blah, blah, blah. That tells me that you didn't take time to read about how this system itself pushed everything they can not to just kill us off when they didn't need us anymore, displace us. We had the Reconstruction era right after slavery, and the Lily Whites and the Republican Party and the KKK founding members in the Southern Democratic Party, they did everything they can to push the outrage so there be no reconstruction. So they got rid of politicians that were black that historically made it in the office and passed great legislation. They did everything they can. There was race war, race riots after race riots. Tulsa wasn't the only race riot, my brother. They kept doing that. Jim Crow was almost 100 years after Reconstruction era was demolished by the South. So don't sit here and try to tell me that when a black nation who our ancestors most likely came from, because it was Eastern Africa, where they all mostly came from. So Nigeria, Ghana, all those, that's where we're mostly from. When you check our DNA, they take the initiative to push the conversation of retribution for accountability, reparations for the black diaspora, the descendants of slavery diaspora. You want to call them self-serving? My nigga, please. Please. And look. We got one brother with some common sense. Look what he says in response. As an African American and a veteran as well, too, an independent, I believe your logic is very short-sighted. Agree. It sounds as though you are so used to your oppression that you would kiss the man who beats you. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a master statement right there. I agree. I wasn't going to say it, but he said it, so I agree. A stronger Southern Hemisphere, excuse me, let me get this out there. A stronger Southern Hemisphere empowers us all. I agree. We're talking about the global South right now, baby. I pray for the day that I can go back to my ancestral home and help to make it prosper. There is a reason that the West European / Americans fear the Latin and African prosperity. I forgive you. I just hope that you stop fighting against us. There you go. And of course he responds, and then I say my 2 cents about how he came on here. You know what I mean? Like, look, people listen, man. Not everybody deserves a reply, and especially not from me, because there's other like-minded individuals that are just more educated than I am, by the way, that can reply to this nonsense, because that's all it was. It was nonsense. You be the first one to deny what is owed to you. It's not a handout, my ninja. It was owed to you. Why? Because your ancestors fucking built this nation. And I swear to God, you hear all these other ethnic groups that talk about a similar plight that we went through. You think these niggas going around saying, oh, but we don't need no fucking reparations? Dismiss me with your fucking bullshit. And yes, do we need to build a movement where the black diaspora in each country that had slavery start organizing for reparations? Yes. Yes. We could do that along with the help in the camaraderie of our ancestral land, Mother Africa. Okay? So when Mother Africa comes in and helps out, there ain't no fucking division because we from there, my nigga. The hell going on with y'all? Anyway, that's how I felt. You know what I mean? Sorry about Abby Shock.